Good evening, everyone. I believe that this day has been fruitful for you. It has been a good day. It has also been a very busy day for me. And so, uh, because we are committed to bringing this to you and ensuring that we do not miss any work day, becoming the fruitful vine is here. And we are set to roll for lesson 30, lesson 29 and 30, rather. So, lesson 29 is about fill the gap. Lesson 30 says that we must read and learn our way to fruitfulness. And so, I like for you to know that the desire of God is for you to be fruitful, multiply, and replenish the earth. Now, we have looked at fruitfulness, we have looked at multiplication. We are now taking sets of lessons that speak to the concept of of replenishment rather. So we started it last night when we talked about uh, how you should bring new perspective to your job and how that you as an individual must create, you know, a new way of doing an old stuff. All right. So lesson 29 says fill the gap. Okay. Replenishment is about filling a supply gap. There is where there is a space and where there is a need to be filled, there has to be a close-up of a gap. Do you know the capacity that you carry inside of you as a human being in your business and in your industry? Can can you see that you are just scratching the surface? And it is as far as your capacity is concerned. There is so much more to be done that if you look at what you're doing side by side with the requirement and the need of your industry and how much you can contribute based on what you carry, you will discover that you have not started doing much yet. So imagine you have to develop yourself to full potential and begin to walk within that concept. Okay, we have an interruption here. Uh, let me take care of that phone. All right. Sometimes we we don't really get to know when some of these calls will come in, and I had always, practiced the concept of putting off all devices before these broadcasts. But some of these slips happen, and so let's come back to our discussion, becoming the fruitful vine. Lesson 29, we're saying, fill the gap. And I was asking, imagine if you have to develop your full potential. Can you imagine how much value you can bring to the table, to your family, for your own personal growth and the society in which you live in, the community in which you have to deal with, and the nation at large? The truth is that a research not too long ago reveals that all of humanity is operating only 20% of installed capacity. That really got to me. Right, really, really got to me. Now imagine if the entire population of the earth raised their game to 50% capacity. Some of the things that you see in science movies that are projective in nature, that are talking about the future of technology, we will be experiencing it today. It will be amazing. The current technological breakthrough will look like a child's play if only the world takes its capacity to how how much? 50%. The research says those who are doing amazing things today have only explored 20% out of the 100% available. Now, I want you to take a look at yourself and see what you're doing. Okay? Are you filling up any yawning gap, any serious gap in your life in terms of producing at your best level? Don't you think you can do more if you learn more and operate at a higher level? Of course, you can. Absolutely, you can. So, a lot of people have limited their capacity by remaining stuck in an environment, on a job, in an occupation, on a platform that is not, challenging them enough to get up and unleash their potentials. I describe potential as untapped resource, capacity waiting to be filled. That's what potential is. Many lives are dependent on what you can accomplish. If only you can get up and seize the moment. Now, why should you deny the world the opportunity of enjoying all of the deposits of heaven, of God, of the divine that you have been equipped with? Why? Shouldn't you be thinking of unloading all of that you have been equipped with before leaving the earth? You have to fill the gap. So we'll look at, you know, the concept of replenishment more in subsequent lessons. But that's lesson 29, fill the gap. Now, I like for us to go to lesson 30, which says learn. It practically says read, learn your way into what? Into fruitfulness. Read and learn your way unto fruitfulness. Now, you cannot be a grains farmer of note without having enough knowledge in that field. It's actually not possible. All right. Uh, you can never be an auto mechanic if you have not learned the trade and become an expert. Even with your post school knowledge located somewhere 20 years ago, if you have not updated your knowledge of modern technology and how to fix recent models of cars as an auto mechanic, you may be out of job in no time, especially if you're working for an established institution that believes in constant updating of knowledge so that sophisticated vehicles that are available for servicing can be attended to. Okay, so you cannot attain the height of fruitfulness that God has ordained for you in every sphere of life if you are not operating at full capacity, if you do not have a culture of consistent and persistent learning, deliberate conscious learning, you will be irrelevant in no time. And so most people throw away their books right after, they left school. The last time they took the time to study and to, make specific research was when they were preparing for their project. And so most people are actually looking away from studying, from researching, from learning new things, and they don't know that they're throwing away potential gold mines. Learning is a lifelong activity of a person who will become, a fruitful vine, especially someone who will continue to bear fruits for a long time. Learning is a never-ending thing for such a person. So if you're not reading up new knowledge, you're not updating yourself in your field of endeavor, you will soon become a relic, an archaic person, and irrelevant in your industry. I've met some elderly clerics who kept speaking ill of younger pastors because the younger ones kept pace with the times and brought the inerrant gospel to today's generation in their language and in their style. And the elderly ones, positioned their teachings at a date when they graduated from Bible school 35 years ago. The times had changed. The generation is now different. And until you can learn today's generation's language and their culture, you cannot reach them. Rather than get offended with those learning, join the bandwagon. How many books have you read in your field since the year started 8 months ago? If you have not read up to 12, you have underread. At least one book per month. So you should have read about 8 or 7. We're in August. Now, besides your field, you need to be abreast with what is happening in other sectors of life and society. The customers that you serve, your clients are spread across all sectors. And if you do not have a little knowledge about everything, how can you effectively converse and engage them in a discussion that can interest them and cause them to find you a guy or a lady, to be around with? Remember, people buy your products and services because they first of all buy into your personality. I'll repeat that again. People buy your product or service because they have bought into your personality, who you are. Especially if you are in a business where you expect return customers. They can go somewhere else. They have other options. There's more where this is coming from. So let's do it again tomorrow as we wrap up the conversation on becoming a fruitful vine for this week. And may I remind everyone watching that on Saturday, the 14th day of August 2021, I will be adding another year to my very interesting life. Okay, I'll be turning 49 on Saturday. And so I am giving God praise ahead of time and giving Him thanks for His mercies and His grace over my life. And so I'd like for you to join me wherever you are on Saturday to give God thanks for my life. And on Sunday, if you're in the city of Kano, I'd like for you to share time with me in church at the Living Hope Christian Center as I, you know, uh, invite my friends for a Thanksgiving service for my 49th birthday. So it's been a great time being with you tonight. And I believe that you have learned quite a lot from our conversation this evening. Tomorrow, we will handle two more lessons 31 and and 32. Lessons 31 and 32. Lesson 31 says, feed your mind daily. And lesson 32 says, build value adding network of people. Build value adding network of people. And then you will be on your way to becoming a fruitful vine. It's been a pleasure bringing this to you, and I'm so excited and super you know, grateful to God for the time that we have been sharing together as friends on this platform. I'd like for you to give me your feedback. Let me know what you think, what you're learning, and it will encourage me to keep this conversation going. We are on lesson 30 already. So we have about 15 more lessons. So plus or minus in a week's time, the series on becoming a fruitful vine will come to a beautiful end. So share your experiences with me, share your learning points, and it will help others to be excited and to be blessed. God bless you. Have a lovely night and stay out of trouble.